Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That was an adventure. Mine's not as dramatic. Mine is just exciting especially for all the parents out there. But yeah, I had some fun adventures. My best friend of all time, fairy godmother Sarah, came into town. And that's Vegas baby's godmother. And so she came into town for his birthday because someone turned 3 and it's really cute. And yeah, we tried to make this the cheapest Vegas vacation on the planet. And so what we did is we went to Chili's. And I'm not going to lie, they had the $6 margarita thing right now.
Yeah.
Fuck you up. It was good.
Yeah.
It was like mango. And so it was a normal margarita with like mango. And then it had like this like sugar and salt rim with tahini on it. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, that's pretty good. I was like, delicious. And I don't know, I have this weird, I blame TikTok for this, like Chili's has got me in a chokehold. I'm on Chili's TikTok and they just show me their Southwest egg rolls and they're fucking,
oh, those Southwest egg rolls are the best.
yeah. And then they show you the mozzarella and the cheese pull. I never get a cheese pull, but that's okay. And I get my mozzarella smothered in like this like honey chipotle sauce. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking good.
Anything Chipotle is like,
is this good?
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, we did that, and then we went over to Town Square, and we decided to do the dinosaur outpost.
I'm actually very jealous of this.
It's so much fun. We'll definitely be going back. It was a lot of fun. I would definitely go, like, luckily for us, our days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, like when we want to go do something. So it's like that will be a good day.
Because the middle of the week is the slowest day of the week to go do stuff.
Exactly. And honestly, like, if it was a lot more fun being able just to have the whole place to ourselves a little bit. So, but the prices are pretty good. They're $24 for locals. And then it was $27 for normal admission. Teachers get a discount.
Okay, so it's $24 for locals. What do you get with that? Like, how long does it take you to go through it?
That depends on your kid.
Okay, but not 12 minutes.
It could be.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on your kid. So when you walk in, like, there's a bunch of different activities. Like, they have, like, the Brussels sprout shooter, which is, like, an airsoft gun that, like, shoots these Brussels sprouts at, like, this dinosaur, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds
and then
awesome.
They have this, like, and it's, like, in a little cage. I mean, everything is pretty small. I mean, it's at Town Square, so it can be, like, super massive. But, and then they have, like, a bunch of dinosaurs, and they're animatronic. So, like, there's one has a pulley where it looks like you're, like, pulling food in front of them, and the dinosaurs react to the food. And then they have another dinosaur station where it tracks your movement, so the head will follow you as you walk around it, and it tells you, hey, move your hand in front of it so the baby dinosaur can see you. And then they have a tug of war with a dinosaur where you can pull to see how heavy a dinosaur was.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I did enjoy that.
And then they had a couple like little pit stops. They also had, I don't know if they do this for everyone or if it was just a Christmas thing, but they had a scavenger hunt, which was just like go to each of the exhibits and experience it. It was really easy. They had this like little race track inside where you can like have a pedaled go-kart, like, you know, just like the one you pedal yourself, and you can go in and the little baby dinosaurs are kind of interacting with you. They had this one where a baby dinosaur was in an egg, and you had to knock on the door to wake it up. Ooh. And it was kind of cute. They also had this gigantic dinosaur that Vegas baby got to ride. And so we got to go on top of that. And it was so funny because at the time I hadn't read through the whole entire scavenger hunt. And the lady's like, look behind you. And there's a big bucket of like dinosaur poop. And it was kind of funny. I was like, because kids love that shit, right? Literally. Kids love shit. But like, so he was riding it, and then that was fun. And then you go into another room, and that room has like a sandbox where you can like dig up fossils. And then another one, I mean, it's very small, but it's like cool concept, right? Yeah. And then another place to see how like the Loch Ness monster like got through the canals, or like how like water dinosaurs would move and like water. And then there was a building one, but I don't remember what that was because Vegas baby had like no interest in it at all. Like Vegas baby was like, I don't want to be a part of that. Because there was a playground in the other room. So, like, there's like, this nice, like, 2-story playground. It reminds me of, like, a McDonald's playground, but honestly, like, perfect for, I mean, he literally played for an hour in that place. Oh, and he got to brush a dinosaur's teeth. That was a lot of fun. We saw a T-Rex.
Ooh.
Parenting win, like, literally a parenting win that I have to note, and it's the silliest thing. They had a toddler potty seat that goes over the toilet, like, in the bathroom. So like when I say they have thought of every fucking detail, it almost makes me think like a single mom was like, what details do I want in my kid area? And it's like, you know what? The biggest complaint I had was like Vegas baby right now, potty training, doesn't want to sit on a big toilet yet. He's too afraid. But if he has that little seat cover, he's fine. And the fact that they added it in, like, I'm not the children's museum doesn't even do that. Like, they just have little potties, but like they don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like the setup to make kids feel comfortable. So I was like, oh wow, that was such a cute little detail that like is really great for parents. And if you have like a potty training kid, you get it. Like they just, and so like I said, in the little playground area, there was a couple of like little slides, and then you can go up and like, you know how they have like the punching bags hanging and like kind of like obstacle course. That's kind of what it was, but everything was enclosed, so I felt comfortable, you know, he was safe in there. But there was these little bad kids in there, and like grabby bad kids, and this girl was grabbing everybody, and this boy was reacting, but like also reacting way too big. So like he was like, no, and like no one was stopping them. And at one point, my boy goes, stop, stop, stop. And then he goes, I said no. It's like, I'm a boy. That's also me. Yes, it is. I was like, that's me.
I've seen you do that.
And it was so funny because he said, I said no. Like, real serious. And I don't know. It sent me over the, like, I literally was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It wasn't even proud mom. It was a little like, oh my God, he's mimicking me. Oh crap. Oh crap. And then it was, that is the funniest thing I've ever like, and they did not listen. Turns out they don't listen to a 3-year-old. You know, but like it was fun. But yeah, he played in that little area for an hour, and then they have like a little like food gift shop area that you can sit. I think it's mostly made for parties and stuff. I mean, the cafe wasn't really open, but they have drinks and stuff. And but because he completed his scavenger hunt, which was just go to all the exhibits, which we were going to do anyways, he got a little prize at the end, and so he got to bring home a biting dinosaur.
I feel like that was like worth the $24.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, that biting dinosaur at Chuck E. Cheese would have been $24, so I see it as a win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got a little toy.
Like, it was free with like him like learning stuff.
Yeah, and so I mean, it was a lot of fun. I can see how it'd be definitely for a little bit older, but I think for what it is, it's cute. I would definitely go back. Like, I would definitely go back just because it's just a safe place to like take your kids.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, the front the lady at the front was so good with him. Like, you go through a time machine, and so the handle breaks off like on purpose, and so Danger Bruce totally got Sarah and I. Totally got it. So the lady's like, okay, pull the lever, and then he breaks it off, and I was like, oh shit, he just broke the machine. Like, he totally got me, but it was all a joke. And then I realized she put it back on, it was a magnet, and I was like, oh, this is a gag. This is a thing. Even Sarah was like, she got me. Damn. Because I'll have to post the video, but like, you see the video and it just stops right after it breaks. Because I was like, shit. But it was pretty good. But they were, the people were super nice. He had a blast, so I can't complain. And then Vegas baby had his birthday, so now he's officially 3.
Yeah.
And he went first time to Chuck E. Cheese, Chuckle Cheese. And I gotta say, that is a wild ride. That place is a wild ride.
It's not like, I had this conversation with Sarah, and I was like, so the animatronics are gone, right?
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, it's all like videos.
Yeah, it's all like, literally they played music videos, but it was still Christmas music.
Yeah.
Which I was like, guys, it's the 5th.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lot. So they still had Christmas music playing, and it was like Kelly Clarkson songs, not necessarily kids songs. I mean, they threw kids songs in there, of course. They completely got rid of the playground area, and now it's like a trampoline park, but they charge you to get in on top of the party. So listen, I'll tell you all about that at the end, because the pricing was hilarious. And this is how Chuckle Cheese wins. But the scary thing is, it's also the cheapest place to take your kid for a birthday party still. That's what's wild. So, so we got the just basic party package, and that's where 6 kids can go play for a limited unlimited 2 hours. And then they got free drinks. And then they got free drinks, 2 hours of unlimited play. Vegas Baby got like 1,000 tickets right off the bat for being the birthday boy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, you would think. I'll go into that too. And then the other kids got to play. And so I was like, okay,
everything
cool.
was like 10 tickets, 20 tickets.
Well, I mean, like, because they were like, oh, the 1,000 tickets, you can buy something off the wall. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, the cheapest thing you can get off the wall is 800 tickets, and then the next price point is 1,300 tickets. So he could have just gotten one thing, but ultimately, all the kid wants is gummy bears and lollipops and like a whistle with Chuck E. Cheese's face on it. He's happy. So that's what we did instead. But I will say it was like the side thing. So like I bought the pizzas. The pizza was really good for like, yeah, everyone, all the adults was like, this is, it had like garlic crust on it. Like, it was really good. I was like, wow, Chuck E. Cheese, pick up your pace. They also serve beer there. I didn't drink. I was way too busy. But they serve beer there. And then,
I think Mallory, was Mallory there?
Yeah.
Mallory said something about that. She's like, dude, they serve beer. And I was like,
and White Claws and everything.
Oh.
And yeah, like it was funny.
I don't like White Claws, but my ass would have had it.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, because they don't have a full bar, but you know,
just because I'm like literally just so I could say I'm drinking White Claw at Chuck E. Cheese.
Right, with a bunch of kids screaming. And then, like I said, they had the little trampoline park, like a Sky Zone, but it only had like 3 squares on it, honestly. But yeah, that was because I had the party package. I got a discount by because only the little kids wanted to go, so 3 kids. I bought them $8 socks for them to jump in there. So on top of like the $100 birthday thing that I paid for, I had to pay $8 per kid to jump in there, which only 3 of them did, which is fine. And I mean, literally, next year I'm like, oh, Vegas Baby, we're going to Sky Zone, because that's all you wanted to do was jump on the trampolines. Yeah. Like I didn't know they had trampolines. And then when they sing that birthday, oh, this is so funny. So Chuck E. Cheese himself comes out, right? Yes. Oh,
they still at least do that.
Yes, he still comes out. So he comes out, and everyone that's having a birthday at the same time, because they have like time slots. So there's like 5 people having birthdays. So all the kids come together at once, and all the birthday kids come up, and then Chucky dances with them. Vegas Baby's best friend wanted nothing to do with them. Like on the top of his lungs, screaming, "I want to go home! I want to go home! No, scary, no!" And I was like, "Oh no," because that's Lorenzo's boy, and like we're really good friends with them. And so I was like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to scare your kid. My bad. I thought he was gonna have fun." So he wasn't into it. And then they all dance, and then they all like sing "Happy Birthday" at the same time. Yeah. And when I say Vegas Baby wanted nothing to do with it at that point, which I knew he wanted nothing to do with Happy Birthday. He wanted to go play. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't care. So he sat there and he zoned out. I have a video of it. I have to post it. He's like zoned out. And then it's like, "Happy birthday, dear Vegas Baby." And I squeezed his leg, and I'm holding the cake in front of him, right? I squeeze his leg, and he just blows out the candle before the song is done. He was just like, let's go. What are we doing? Like, I'm done. I just want to play. That's so funny. And you guys are singing at me because like you don't open birthday presents at kid parties because it's just like,
well, we found that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what happened.
That one. Well, no, because I was letting Vegas Baby open presents as soon as people got in. I didn't make them wait, but yeah, that's exactly why one of his friends wanted to open all of his presents and play with all of his presents. And that's really common for kids. It's exciting. It's new. You want to play with it too. But yeah, that's why you just don't open presents in front of other kids. It's a lot. It's okay. It's a normal kid thing.
I never did that when I was growing up.
Yeah, well, we're a different generation by a few years.
All right. So at the adult party, you created a new cocktail.
Oh yeah. So we had an adult party.
Mixologist.
Yeah.
Without me, I'm proud of her.
Well, it was funny because Fairy Godmother, she doesn't drink, but she has this cocktail that has like schnapps in it, and that's what she.
One
drinks.
of these years, I'm gonna teach her how to drink.
No, she won't. She's like really, it like really upsets her stomach. Like it really like makes her sick and stuff. So
she
like
had a sex on the beach without the vodka. She just had peach schnapps.
Yeah.
So she had like a fuzzy navel.
Yeah. Sure.
No, because it gets pineapple and it gets orange juice and cranberry. So yeah, so she basically had like a fuzzy navel with cranberry juice.
So I tried it because I just was like, "What are you drinking all the time?" And I took a little tasty taste. And I was like, ooh, that would be good with Sprite on top, just because I needed some I just like carbonation. Yeah. And like even Mallory was like, maybe even club soda, just to like not so sweet overpowering, but like the fizziness for sure. And I was like, oh yeah. And then I was thinking about it, and I can't do vodka. Like I just can't. Like my stomach is just like no. But I can do tequila. So I was like, let me put some tequila in there. And I was like, oh my god, I love this drink. It's so refreshing. It's so nice. I didn't put like a whole shot of tequila in there. I get there, and
she's like, is there a drink?
I know. I was like, is there a drink with a name?
I'm like, well, there's a tequila sunrise with orange juice and grenadine and tequila.
And I was like, but then I was like, well, you know what? That's not exactly my drink. So we called it Sex in Cancun.
Yeah.
Instead of Sex on a Beach, it's Sex in Cancun.
Yeah.
I was actually, originally it was Sexy in Mexico. And then Mallory's like, no, Sex in Cancun. And I was like, you're right. That's the name.
Yeah.
I'm going to die with it on my headstone. Sex in Cancun. But that was my mixy drink. And then Sarah tried to go home yesterday, but there was a 12-hour delay.
I mean, it was either your flight gets bumped up a day, like a full day where you have to get on an airplane 12 hours earlier than when you were almost 24 hours early. No, it was about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Because his flight was normally at 6 a.m. but he ended up leaving at like 4:30. So
yeah,
like 21 hours later, or 22 hours earlier. So I
mean, it was crazy. There was the weather. That was crazy. But the good positive thing out of it is that Sarah won $191 in the airport slot machine. That ain't a bad day.
Nope.
That ain't a bad day at all. So, yeah, I made up for the 12-hour delay, I guess. I mean, I told her selfishly, I was like, I'm glad I got you for an extra day. I'm sorry you have to get off an airplane and go right to work.
Oh.
Luckily she works at home, but yeah, she had to get off the airplane, get home, and just start working.
He's got to do that on he gets home like Monday night, and then he has to work at 9:30 Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just like bam bam.
Yeah.
No, Sarah literally got off a plane at 8:00. It takes her 30 minutes to get home. She had to clock in at 8:30.
Ew.
Like when I say she had to immediately just get home and work, she had to immediately get home and work. Like there was no pee break.
Ew.
Like it was just, she was like, God damn it.
No, thank you.
But oh my gosh,
football season has been very dramatic this year.
It really has. It really has.
It's just like there's so much drama. Like, oh man.
Really tragic news.
Starting the year off, man.
I mean, so as most people know, because it was on national news, obviously, a cyber truck exploded at Trump Towers. So I'm going to give a trigger warning. It is we're going to be talking about death, possible suicide, and mentions of terrorist actions. So if you want to skip through, because the next topic's going to be a lot more fun. But we'll make it quick. So yeah, January 1st, a Cybertruck exploded in front of Trump Tower. This truck,
like literally like pulled up in front So Trump Tower doesn't have a parking garage.
Yeah, it's valet only.
Valet only.
Yeah. So you had to pull up. The truck had camping gas, gasoline, and fireworks inside of it, and the man inside was found dead with a gunshot wound to his head. I didn't look up the guy's name because I feel like the more we talk about this guy, it just kind of glorifies him a little bit, and it's like all that other stuff. But
it was a long name.
Yeah, and so the man rented the Cybertruck in Colorado, and he is rumored to be connected with this with a guy that had run over 10 people or a crowd of people in New Orleans, killing 10 people on the same day.
Did you see that? Like after that happened. The next time like the Saints played.
I didn't see what they did. No,
the Saints showed up to their game wearing like New Orleans strong shirts, kind of like the Vegas strong thing. They did like the New Orleans strong.
It was just it was quite the political statement, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean,
they had to postpone the Sugar Bowl for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary because it's like also like the very start of the new year, people are trying to celebrate.
Yeah.
And it's just a really like a horrible thing to do, and it's just honestly, our hearts go out to the families.
Yeah,
that is awful. It was really scary. I'm so glad like no one died here in town, except for the asshole.
There's a lot of talk about like security and everything now, as far as like things like that. Because because I guess they've never really needed it, you know. But I mean, I guess after 1 October here, like our security is super tight in Vegas. Like it is like a very. I mean, you have your moments, but it's still either way a safe place.
Someone's always watching you in a casino. Like, just know someone is always watching you.
There are cameras all over town,
and there are undercover cops everywhere. Yep. And there are. I mean, they truly just. And like, if you're behaving yourself, you're fine. But like, and they let you get away with murder sometimes. I'm not really, but like, they let you get away with like kind of being, bunch of people are smoking weed on the strip. Cops can smell it. They're not dumb.
It's technically illegal to do.
Yes, it is. But
it's such a
it's a lot of paperwork for a joint.
Yeah,
all our thoughts, prayers, all that stuff go out. It was really sad to hear. What was also really sad for Jessica and I, not as sad, we're just changing the topic now, is Senior Frogs. It's closed down. And the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because that's where Jessica and I met.
I swore we met at Carnival Court, but she says we met at Senior Frogs.
Yeah, think about it, because
she doesn't drink as much as I do.
Listen, it was because I remember it because homeboy said, "Hey, you should meet my gal and my buddy Dylan at Senior Frogs. I'm going right now."
Well, I swear I met Dylan at Carnival because it was Carnival.
But when you had already known Dylan by the time I met you.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys had already been hanging out, and at that point, he already fixed your blinds. I don't know. There's a time Dylan fixed your blinds.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So at that point, that's, you know what I'm saying? So like, you guys had already known each other for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or at least a decent amount of time.
Senior Frogs, the amount of like.
And even in my notes, I said it was all like, I'm glad we met there, but everything else was traumatic.
I remember us going to Senior Frogs and having like the best night, just having so much fun. And then we go to Gillies after. And something really bad happened, and then
every time
you spent the night with me, and but it just, there were so many times that I caught homeboy cheating, and it always was at Senior Frogs and kind of at Gillies a lot, but I still go to Gillies because apparently I won Gillies in the divorce.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah, no, honestly, every time I have a memory of Senior Frogs, it's like,
oh God. And there was that one time that he convinced me to do like the bikini contest.
I forgot about that. Oh my God, I forgot about that. And then that one lady was just like naked.
I lost. Like, they let me come out like to Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah.
And I did the dance to Oops, I Did It Again. And I came in like 4th. But like the top 3 girls like dry humped the stage. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I'm not that girl. Like, I'm a little bit more conservative, more classy. Yeah. Like cool. Like, I had been working out and I looked good in a bikini at that point in time, but like, I'm not going to
do all that
sexualize, gyrate, like twerk, like what, like these girls. It was gross, and
honestly, it's kind of weird that he even said that, because that's exactly what those competitions are.
I felt like cheap and like
you're just like
violated.
Yeah, that's why there. I mean, what t-shirt contest? Who does that anymore?
Right?
Like, it's just not the vibe.
So. Me and Senior Frogs just didn't. We never got along.
I will say, I don't know where the drag queens are gonna go. It feels like every spot the drag queens are is closing up, and like, it's like,
drag queens are fun, but I don't know. Like,
I mean, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the drag queens are the last resort.
Yeah, but
of the failing place. But
I feel like
Senior Frogs had a very real and very good cast.
Yeah,
because they had Rue girls, but then the Rue girls went to the Rue show.
Yeah,
so
I think that I think the drag thing is kind of like, it goes in phases. Like fashion. It's not like, it's kind of fading. And
it's fading in Vegas. It's not fading anywhere else.
Right. No, I know. Because Crystal goes to
that's what I mean,
shows all the fucking time.
Packed.
But I mean, it's just, they're like, the thing is about Vegas is there are shows on every corner, on whether it be drag shows, whether it be tribute shows, whether it be like,
well, also
everywhere. So it's competing with like, you have other shit that you know.
Well, and also it's like, and I think Crystal can attest to this. It's like, when you come to Vegas, you want to go see a Vegas show, you might as well go see the Vegas drag. like, which is going to be the RuPaul girls.
Right. That's where she went.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of trying to find like a mom and pop place too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But speaking of dancing.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
So I learned something during Nutcracker.
I love the Nutcracker. And I've always wondered about this too. I'm like, how much these people getting paid?
The Nevada Ballet, those dancers get paid $14,000 a year.
That's wild.
The CEO gave herself a $20,000 raise. She makes $200,000 a year. Gave herself a $20,000 raise. Like I said, and the dancers get $14,000 a year.
Can you imagine giving yourself a $6,000 more?
Like, think about all of the hours that you spend in rehearsal.
I was about to say, what are they getting paid for? Just the show time?
I mean, and then like there was a whole thing with like this year with like the musicians and the orchestra and like
there was
the union. Yeah, because when you go to see Nutcracker this year, the dancers dance to like a soundtrack.
That's crazy. Okay, that's so funny because when the Nutcracker, before the Smith Center, obviously, the Nutcracker used to be at UNLV, and they went to a canned recording, and my mom and I stopped going for a little bit because it was like, we don't want to watch canned music. We want to watch the real thing. And it was canned this year.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a huge blow.
Yeah, I feel like people probably were not happy with the show.
Probably not.
Because that's like the whole entire point is the music. I don't know, dude. That's kind of crazy. I know that like the dancers wanted to get some attention to it, and I think it's just ridiculous. It's like, how are
they told me, like, they came into Vix and they told me about it, and they're like, tell your friends. And I'm like, don't worry, I have this podcast. I'll tell fucking everyone.
Well, and it's just like, it's kind of insulting, especially when you're making $14,000 a year, and then the main bitch gives herself a $20,000 bonus. What?
Yeah.
You gave yourself a bonus more than I get paid?
Yeah.
Get lost. And I guarantee you, it's like, where are our bonuses or where are our raises? Like, oh, we didn't have the money this year.
Yeah.
Because I gave myself $20,000.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
What an asshole. This is messy.
It's so funny because we were like waiting for, the whole month of December, we were like waiting for Bad Behavior to come out because we were like, man, what are we going to talk about? And then between Britney Spears and Blake Lively, like, we were not let down.
I mean, it's so crazy because, like, my first statement on this is anyone who reads a Colleen Hoover book and then fucking goes, I need to make this a movie, and then funds it is a toxic person. That is a toxic trait. That is a red flag. Colleen Hoover is such, like...
I saw the movie.
Yeah, I know, but, like, after reading her books and going, this was a good book, is fucking wild. Like, wild. Because she just is a horrible author. Can I tell you what's in one of her books? Mm-hmm. And this is when I said I am never reading a Colleen Hoover book. It is a book, and the main character and the other guy character just had a baby, and they're driving in the car, and she goes, oh, he looks just like you. And he goes, no, honey, he looks just like you, just beautiful like you. And then he goes, but he has my balls. And she goes, our son does have big balls. And then on the last sentence, it says, and we both joked about our son's big balls. That is her writing. That is her book writing. I'm not making that up. Like, that is how she wrote it. I can't read a book like that. I can't read a book. I can't read a book where the author writes as poorly as that. I can't do it. And I'm a romance snob. Anyways, that's my rant. Well, how do you read a Colleen Hoover book and like it? Ew.
So Blake Lively, and it's kind of weird because like Blake Lively, they were saying, oh, she used it to promote her hair care line, and I was like, I saw all her shit, and I didn't even know she had a hair care line.
No, she did. She released both of those at the same time.
Yeah,
it was definitely on purpose.
I know, but I didn't pay attention to any of that.
Well, the stock went down 8% because of what's his name?
Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni. But what everyone said was that Blake used it as her own the promotion as like her own like Eras tour. Like she just like the style.
Oh,
that's what because.
Okay.
So think about it. So she wore Britney's dress, her Versace dress.
Yeah.
You know, and so she had like anytime like the flowers and everything because she owned the flower shop. You know, like her name was like Lily, I guess, and she owned the flower shop. and there was a lot of like style in the movie. Not really that, but like
no, it was Colleen Hoover style, and it was awful. It's okay.
Yeah, but the clothing that like Blake wore was like really like fashionable and stylish. Like she just was like, it was like high fashion kind of, well, not really high fashion, but it was like very, so she like wore a lot of like really cool like dresses, and everyone was like, oh, like everyone thought it was like a romance movie. And then, but nobody really, like, I didn't know that it was about domestic violence until like until I saw like Justin Baldoni and what he was talking about. And then the comments were like, why is Blake acting like this is a romance movie? It's a movie about domestic violence.
Yeah, well, I have an answer for you, actually. It's in Blake's lawsuit. It's a part of it. Yeah, so just to recap, Justin went on this fucking campaign against Blake Lively as soon as the movie came out, pretty much saying she was miserable to work with, impossible to work with, all this other stuff, and really put a hatred and smear campaign towards TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit.
Oh.
And it worked, because that's where we saw all those videos of people hating Blake Lively. Now, I've always said, if you are in Hollywood and if you are that famous, you have to be a little narcissistic and you got to be an asshole, because that's what you have to do. Like, you kind of have to be that way. So I've always said that. And I've always thought Ryan Reynolds reminds me of someone you work for. Really nice, gives really good parties, all that other stuff, but makes people cry at work.
Yeah.
You know, like real good family man.
Never made me cry. It never made me cry. But
others cry.
Oh, yes. Made somebody cry. He did make somebody cry.
And is like really kind of like on the outward, like, yeah, a really good guy, because yeah, he does a lot of really good things and like whatever. But when it gets down to business and doesn't get his way, makes people cry. That's how I've always seen that family.
Yeah.
That is how I've always seen that, like, the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds family. That's why I've always kind of been like, okay, they're great, not that great. Like, so that's how I've always seen them. So that's how I kind of always saw Blake Lively. And I was like, okay, move on. I don't know why we have a hate campaign against her right now. Like, nothing can be that bad. Well, turns out there's a reason for it. So, turns out Miss Blake Lively came out with a lawsuit, and in the lawsuit she talks about sexual inappropriateness and sexual harassment. She talks about the work environment, talks about what happened, and how Justin absolutely set up a smear campaign with the PR team and how they were going to do it. Has text. She ended up having to subpoena these people to get their emails, their work emails. So legally she got all these emails and they can't be changed, and they are so telling. So first she talks about how she does a scene and the scene ends, and Justin then sniffs her from like her neck to her chest, and it's like, baby, you smell good. And he's like, okay, she's like, ew, that's inappropriate, that's fucking gross, I don't like that.
I know that she wanted an intimacy coordinator.
Yes, and he like wouldn't give her one.
Yeah, almost like it's like a choreographer to like the sex scenes. And so the entire time I like sit there and watch 50 Shades of Grey, I'm like, is there an intimacy coordinator like coordinating these scenes?
Listen, I know I said the same thing. I was all like, oh, that boy's nose is in her cooter regardless.
Right. Yeah,
that boy's nose is in there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I thought the same thing on 50 Shades. Yeah. I was like, well, that's why 50 Shades was so like, this is porn. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was like, holy shit. But he also talked about his porn addiction, and he would show Blake his favorite porns and like naked women and stuff. And then he asked her if she watched porn, and then after she answered, he like blasted it to the whole crew, talking about like, Blake Lively watches or doesn't watch porn, like to everybody. Then when she confronted him, he would just say like, oh, I'm not that attracted to you, don't freak out, I'm not attracted to you, so you're not allowed to be upset about that. So okay.
And I know that like she had just had a baby, I think.
Yeah.
And so she was really like weird about her weight,
and he kept on referring her to a weight loss doctor on set. The OBGYN in the movie.
There was one scene though where she was wearing like lingerie, and she fucking looked like a oh my, I was like,
no, Blake Lively's always looked good.
Oh,
I will say she wore one dress after giving birth, and it was not a very flattering dress, but it was the dress, not Blake Lively. Like, it was the dress, not Blake Lively.
No, but even when she wore like to like the Deadpool like premiere, like her Deadpool outfit, like because she was Lady Pool, like it was
I
don't care, you can't make me hate Blake Lively.
she's honestly and I gotta say, she took a book out of the Taylor thing, because when he put her on that smear campaign, she didn't say a fucking word.
No.
And she was like, I'm going to do this the right way. But when she gives birth in the movie.
Yes.
So the OBGYN was not an actor. That was his best friend.
That was his best friend.
And then he tried to convince her to be completely naked for it, because women give birth naked. He's talking to a woman with 4 children.
Yes.
She knows how to give birth.
Yes.
Actually, if anything, she really knows.
Yeah.
More than your wife, because your wife's only had one.
Yeah.
This woman knows how to give
I think
birth.
I know like Hillary Duff did her like in a bathtub.
Yeah, like a home birth.
I think Blake might have.
She said she had hospital gowns on.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted to wear, was a hospital gown. And they're like, women don't do that. They just take off their clothes. And then he kept on saying, like, so Blake is wearing like practically nothing under this.
You wore a hospital gown. You weren't naked, were you?
I was not naked. No, I had a hospital gown on. I mean, my butt was naked, but like,
right.
But I mean, that's normal. But yeah, no, I was fully clothed with a blanket on top of
right.
me too. Like, I don't know.
So why is a man telling a woman with 4 kids how
to do it,
how to have a baby?
Well, and also like some women do want to be naked, and good for his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like if she wants, the whole entire point of birthing is to be comfortable. So it happens in so many ways, shapes, and forms.
I still wouldn't want to do that.
Give birth?
No, that I don't want to do. But like be naked, like completely.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, well, you're in such an animal state that you don't have any thought. Like when I say you don't have a thought in your mind, you just become an animal going, I need to poop a baby out. Like, that's the only instinct.
Yeah, but there's like everybody's like no.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to be naked, but my boobie was out a lot. So that's because I was breastfeeding. But yeah, so very intimate. But imagine a non-actor. It's this guy's best friend, and he's practically in her fucking vagina, and she's not allowed to wear anything underneath, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, your friend got to smell my cooter.
But you're not gonna, like, I don't understand. I don't understand that, because if we can't see anything on camera, like,
what is he doing?
What's he doing? Why can't she wear underwear? We're not gonna know.
Exactly. Like that's
we're not gonna know.
Point. That was the whole entire point.
Like we're not gonna know.
And then
she could be fully clothed and wearing like a mini skirt, and we wouldn't fucking know.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And then he also would like kind of like, they would barge into her dressing room. While she was getting changed. Yeah, so she was getting changed, and they would just walk in. And at one point, she was in hair and makeup, and just like, she was practically topless, but like probably had like some like towel around her chest for makeup, you know? And first he would talk to her with his back turned to her, because she was like, can you leave? I'm naked. And he was all like, no, I gotta talk to you. So he just turned around and talked to her. And then he would return around, and he was like obviously staring at her shoulders. Yeah. And it was just like very uncomfortable, made her really uncomfortable. So with the subpoena, she somehow found out that he was starting this smear campaign, because I think somebody realized his bad behavior was gonna come out. Yeah, like clearly Blake. Because Blake kept on having team meetings, saying like, "Hey, let's not barge into people's dressing rooms. That's really inappropriate. I want the coach, but
suddenly she's difficult,
being too hard to work with." Exactly. And so, which by the way, it sounds like a typical woman.
But it's like having pre-shift before each. Yeah. Before each shift, we all get together and say, hey, guys, these are the notes from like the week. Like, let's not do this. Let's do this.
Well, this meeting was in fact to get like this would have been an HR meeting. Yeah. This meeting was going to be like how to work with modesty. This wasn't just like a team meeting. Yeah. This was like a, hey guys, don't barge into my dressing room. We're going to be naked. Yeah. Type meeting. So it was like she was setting boundaries, and then she somehow she found out the publicist, there was social media manipulation and a text from a publicist saying that they were going to bury her. Yeah. And like they wanted to bury her.
I don't think I've ever seen a Blake Lively movie where like and even in like the A Simple Plan, like there's just like she's not overly sexual in like anything. I don't think I've seen her.
She's a very like this is where she's like a Taylor Swift sexy. Like she does sexy things, but it's not necessarily all titties and ass. Right. It's a very sensual. Yeah. A very
I read today that Taylor Swift like doesn't show her belly button ever.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one, she like showed a photo, like, so like the paparazzi like took a picture of her and managed to get her belly button, and it sold for like $100,000. And then so like to like take that narrative back, Taylor Swift was like at the beach with her friends, and a lot of times like still like wears bikinis that are like high waisted. But at one point she like 4th of July like posted a picture with all her friends and had her belly button out. So she's like, "See, now you can't make money off my belly button because here it is."
That's so funny.
So, but yeah, like it's but Blake Lively is that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and she can be super sexy. I've like, dude, again, the lady pool outfit. Yeah. And she does wear one super sexy outfit, and it ends with us. And I'm like, damn, Blake, you look awesome.
Yeah.
But but that was like it.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like she's pretty, like I said, she's like that Taylor Swift, like sexy, like doesn't have to put everything out there. Doesn't have to necessarily
because she
put
just
lingerie
is.
on. Yeah, exactly.
Like her voice, even her voice is just like
yeah,
it's
sensual.
Deep and sexual.
Yeah.
Like I like love Blake Lively. Sorry, you can't make me hate Blake Lively.
So then the publicists get the emails come out with Justin, and there's these two ladies that are clearly on a like, yeah, I'm ready to fuck Blake's career up. Like they were ready, which I was like, what did Blake do to them? I was like, Jesus Christ, how did that like turn into that? So he was planning on something. To me, Justin was always planning on something happening. Hence why he wanted to go after her before she could go after him. And in these notes, they talk about how they want to be a step ahead of her. In the emails, they talk about how they specifically want to focus on TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit, which were the 3 main sources. They have proof of him sending videos of remember Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez when they recently had their most recent tuffle, to the point where Selena had to come out and say like, guys, stop doing this, I don't care, like they're married.
When we were on like Team Selena and Team
I
mean a couple of my viral videos are from that.
So during that phase, Justin took videos of like smear videos of Hailey saying, this is how we need to form out our Blake videos. Yeah. Like really getting into detail. And then Blake says in her lawsuit, she's like,
there was one TikTok influencer that like made a video or whatever, and Blake like cited that in her lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. And then they also had okay, going back to the clothes. So this is what I wanted to say. I didn't type this up but it's funny you brought it up. So the clothes. Justin had a plan for everyone to dress a certain way at the red carpets. He said, I want people to focus on, let's make this a happier movie, blah, 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 all this. And then last minute, he changed his mind and didn't tell. He told each individual actor something different. So each of them had a different story on what to wear. He told Blake to wear something flowery because of all this other stuff, and then turned it into how can you romance this movie with all your flowery, happy clothes while this is about domestic violence? I'm taking the serious route and wanting to show you the problems with domestic violence and how you can help. She had that one
gorgeous dress on.
Yes.
Her name was Lily Bloom, and she owned a flower shop.
Yes.
Like, okay, so she dressed like her character.
Yeah, so he told her to do that, and she was on board just to get like the job done and move on. And then he switched it on everybody, told everybody else to wear something else, and then tried to make her be this villain. He is the one that staged that and that conversation.
So Justin Baldoni's lawyer now is like, I'm going to sue her into oblivion.
Yeah, well, he's known for being the bad guy. So his name is Brian Friedman. He's known for being the bad guy lawyer. He's saying this is a lawsuit to slander Justin's name and all this other stuff. There's too much proof in Blake Lively's. I'm sorry, there's too much proof in Blake Lively's lawsuit. But I feel like
other people that have worked with Justin Baldoni are like, this happened to me too. Like,
well, wasn't he on the that show about like the Virgin getting pregnant?
Jane the Virgin?
Jane the Virgin, yeah. Wasn't he in that show?
I don't know.
I think he was
with America Ferrera.
Baby, he was the baby daddy of. Anyways, it's a long twisted scheme that show. But I only watched the first season. Yeah, no, it looks really bad for him. And honestly, he's been doing this for a really long time. I will say a lot of people are like, why is she suing him but not the production or whatever? Yeah. And it turns out he's the same guy. So yeah, it's all the same person. That's why I was like, he He read a Colleen Hoover book and said, yeah, I want to pay money to make this.
You know what? For what everything she was going through during that movie, like, because everyone's like, oh, her acting is terrible, but like,
makes sense.
But I also like watching that movie. I couldn't tell.
Oh, really?
I couldn't tell. I was I was like, oh man, like because she was a professional about it. Like,
yeah,
I mean, she did her job
done. Well, that's why I go. She took a book out of Taylor's. You know, two birds flock together. You know, I mean. She goes, listen, I'll get my time. The same thing when the Kanye thing happened with Taylor. Okay, you do you. I'll have my time.
I saw videos of Blake and Ryan at the Eras tour with all their kids in the VIP tent, and fans were cheering, and like Ryan like wasn't really like, he was just like kind of getting the kids settled or whatever, and Blake, you saw Blake go, hey babe, it's okay, you can wave, like everybody's like cheering for you, and so like Ryan looks up and he's like, oh hey guys, you know, and Blake's like, oh hey guys, and then everybody and then they sit down and everybody respects them because they were like kind enough to like, okay, you know, like interact with everybody for a little bit. So we like showed them like, okay, now like they did their thing, like let's let them enjoy their night, you know.
Well, I don't know, I feel like, and that's why I compare it to like somebody that is nice and approachable, and you know what I'm saying, like somebody like I said, you gotta be this much narcissistic to have people want to talk about you all day long. I mean, and like just talk about you and how great you are and how amazing you are.
It's weird because it's not done anything for the movie. Like the movie's on Netflix already.
Well, the movie didn't do great.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Is like this whole feud didn't help with the movie. Like everyone's like, oh, it's like, because people are like, oh, you know, it's you know, it's got people talking about the movie, and now people are gonna we're not.
Well, and I will say,
I watched it. I tried to get him to watch it, and he's like, we're not watching that. I'm like, I don't blame him. Listen. And then so I like got home and I watched it myself, and I was like, and I watched it because I love Blake Lively.
Yeah.
But the movie, as somebody who went through what that movie was about, it was like triggering, but it also kind of was like I liked Blake's character because I was like, she came out strong in the end, and got through it, you know, and she had a best friend that like her best friend who like her best friend in the movie was the sister of her of her boyfriend. Like that's how they met.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha, yeah.
And so at the end, like after everything happens, she goes, I hope you find it in your heart to like forgive my brother one day, but if you ever get back with him, I will never speak to you again. And she was like, got it. And that was it. Like,
well, I think it's something people could relate to.
And she like walked away, but she had like a best friend that like helped her. Like it didn't matter that it was her brother. Like she like was so like there was a lot of like how I got through it kind of thing in there. So like that's why like I liked the movie, and I liked Blake's character, and I love, you know, and it, you know, and I love Blake Lively, so I was just like, okay, you know, like I watched her in Gossip Girl, and I was like, me and you know who, like we watched the Deadpool movie together, and like so at the end I was like, it's Blake, and like just like it just, you know, like I don't know, again, you can't make me hate Blake Lively.
I mean, I don't know, I think it's just one of those things where it's just like, we'll see what happens, time will tell.
I think that Justin Baldoni was like irrelevant, and I think that this is making him like, oh, who am I gonna go after? Oh, Blake Lively. Like Blake Lively's not as like, honestly,
I don't think so. I think he realized he got his dick caught between his legs, and now he's done some pretty like really horrible things. And how do you don't trust somebody you hate, you don't want to listen to somebody you hate, and to this day there's TikToks going like, you know, Blake's lying about everything. You know, and that's because he started the smear campaign first. He absolutely knew what happened. He knew she was going to say something. She knew that, because she kept on holding him to a standard that no one else has ever done. And when that happens, mean people do crazy things to try to get on top of it, because they've always been told. I mean, literally, he was told in emails, don't worry, we'll bury her. And they fucking did it. And so he's thinking he's getting his way.
We're going to get our own Blake Lively Reputation era.
Listen, I actually don't think so. I think she's just going to come. She's going to pull the Taylor Swift $1 thing. lawsuit.
Yeah.
She's gonna go, I'm gonna sue you for $1. I did this all just to expose who exactly you are, and I don't give a fuck. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there will be like a reputation after it. I think it will just be like a, okay, I won. And I don't think she's ever going to mention it. I think she's just never going to talk about it. She's going to say, well, if you want to look at it, look at it. You can see I won. I walked away with my head held high, and I'm going to continue my career.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to affect her career. I really don't.
No.
Especially now that all of his stuff is coming out.
Yeah.
But
skeezy.
I mean, guys, that was the show. Holy shit.
Oh god, it was like 2 parts. Like we couldn't fit everything in one episode, so we had to do it in 2.
It's crazy, but okay, guys.
Lots of things in between, so stay tuned.
Lots of things are coming up.
Yes, 2025 is going to be a big year for us.
Yes.
So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
Bye.